What's up, Go enthusiasts? Today we've got a special game. It's between KataGo and KataGo. AI versus AI. It's an AI self-play game. The AI's got quite a bit of time to think and played wonderfully well. AI in Go is very interesting, as it's, of course, the first field where AI became superhuman, basically in anything, where proper, uh, machine learning, artificial intelligence, reinforcement learning based algorithms first became a sensation. Way back when, 8 years ago. Since AlphaGo, which of course you should know, there have been many other AIs. AIs generated open source, AI is generated by companies, and KataGo is an open source AI which beat all the AIs generated by companies. It's one of the strongest AIs out there, and well maintained, extremely useful educationally. It's the first AI to ever come up with the idea of showing you the point difference. They implemented that a really clever way. I think the first implementation was by changing the komi such that the AI would think the game is even, to figure out exactly how many points each player was leading by. Since then, I think they made it a little more complicated. But it's such a useful tool, and I personally have been studying with KataGo for years and years, and more than half a decade. So it's time to see what happens when KataGo plays against KataGo. Usually I go to KataGo as the answer book, but actually AIs aren't answer books. Even in Go, where AIs are superhuman, not just superhuman, it's superhuman. It's like way beyond anything that humans could ever do. They are still just Go players at the end of the day. And they too can get confused. Go confuses everybody, even the superhumans. They too can make mistakes, and they too can find gorgeous Tetsuji. Let's take a look at how AI plays. The opening here, actually, in this particular self-play game, the opening was determined already. It was decided by a human that the AIs would play this way. The human decided that because these are moves that the AI likes, these are not bad moves by any stretch of the imagination. But the human decided, okay, you guys are going to pick exactly this way. And let's go through all the way through here, and through here, and through here. And the human said, all right, now start playing. Of course, to get to this point, we must have used KataGo to ask, because these were all good moves to go through here. So let's see, why did KataGo like all the way up to here? All the way from the start, you can see, of course, it took some 4/4s and some 3/4s. Black took 3/4s, white took 4/4s. The rule set of this game is 7 komi flat, New Zealand rules. You can do anything. 7 komi flat means that actually draw is supposed to happen. In theory, if both players play perfectly, it's a draw. New Zealand rule 7 komi, that's true. Well, we can't actually prove it's true, but it's true. It's true in the same way that we know that white is better than black in chess. We can't prove it, or we can't prove that although white is better, it's a draw. But come on, it's a draw. All the top players when they play, it's draws. Anyway, Go. It should be a draw. 7 komi New Zealand rules, in my opinion. It's never a draw. Even for AIs, it's not going to be a draw. Black. Yeah, maybe it starts very slightly behind. I don't think that it prefers 3/4s particularly much. I think the human just chose that. After white approached the upper right, black ignored that and decided to play in the bottom right instead. I think the bottom right became more valuable because of the knight's move in the bottom left. And yeah, it doesn't matter that much. White chose the pincer, I think, because also it's nice to get ahead of the bottom left somehow. And black ignored that and approached here. Of course, all of these moves are possible moves, and many other moves are possible as well. It's not like any of these choices are obvious or decisive. And even when there are very similar choices, it's not like AI always chooses the best one. If two choices are within a tenth of a point, 2/10 of a point, it's very possible that the future AI and even some really strong humans who really understand AI will be like, nah, you actually chose the wrong one of these two moves, which are very, very close in value. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is this opening may not have been exactly precise, but this is still a joseki. Bottom, like all of these are corner patterns that we know. And this corner pattern in particular looks like it's the right one for the situation, as do all the other ones, but other corner patterns also look like they could be good. Just, you can't know exactly. And then it chooses the large knight's approach to the bottom left, or bottom right, I mean. And yeah, this one is done after the pincer for a pretty interesting reason, actually. I think this is a good move. It's one that I used to do a lot, and white uses that one. A lot of human players will just play here. You might be wondering why not. Well, then black will play this one. If white eats the stone, you can see the 2 space is actually perfect here. It's very, very fast and taking care of these stones. And white's shape over here, it only got to beat one black bad exchange. So actually the black shape, stealing the corner this big, getting that much territory, white's territory is much smaller, right? Black is fast enough that he doesn't have to worry so much about that. So typically that's considered as good for black. And it's, you know, nice to have had the 2 space rather than just the 1 space. So after this one, white will block to stop that. And then black plays here, and you get the same kind of thing as you normally would get when white decides to block. But in this case, you can see the stone is 2 spaces away, not just 1 space. So normally if it was 1 space away, white would play like on the outside of it and press it. But in this case, yeah, that's not going to happen, because now black is not under nearly so much pressure. The cutting point here is much, much important still. Very annoying for white. And yeah, just in general, the fact that this one stone is farther away from the wall that white would make after black invades means white really doesn't want black to come in and invade there. So that's why white does this one. Now if black would come in, white will generate the wall instead towards the bottom side, so that would beat up that stone nicely. So black answers. Obviously it's good in this position, building up the right side. And white goes down. So that's to prepare against the invasion. Now white could block and try to kill it with this stone. And black will accept that and try to take his right side. This is all making sense. And white attach. So this is where I used to get stuck, and this is basically why I stopped playing this way, is because it's like, it often happens like this. You accept the right side, and then the opponent beats you up on the bottom, and you have to figure out how to handle this. It's really hard. It's really awkward, because you can very easily just let white get an area which is too big, here or there, like beat you up too hard. It's really difficult to control. But of course for AI, it's difficult to control. What are you talking about? Just go save it. Attach into the corner. This looks wrong because it looks like white should be able to wedge, and then it looks like you're too busy to do anything. But fortunately black has the perfect sequence planned, as always, here. And white cuts. White has to cut. If white wouldn't cut, then blocking here looks like it's good, but then black is going to extend. And black will save in the corner. You can use that one, but you can see eventually this is a living shape in the corner. It's got enough space, so that's annoying. And if white tries some cutting thing instead, you know, these things can work. You can cut, and you might even be able to kill those stones, but it doesn't mean it's going to be good. Give away so much when you let black save by capturing, and it would be the same thing this way, where black can capture a stone. That means that black is super thick here again. White, allowed black to live. I think this way, if white tanukis, probably the game is close. I think the AI said this is like the best other option. But yeah, it's definitely the correct thing for white to do, to say, you know what, I'm not going to let you come into the corner. Of course, if black had gone into the corner directly, then the cut would have been very important. So black had the perfect timing here. I'm going to do this, forestall that cut, just one step, and then if you answer me, then I have enough power to come in here. Then you can go ahead and use the cut still, but at least I'd be able to eat a stone. So white decided to trade right away, and black got to split here. So it's a very interesting result, very interesting way to get there as well. White takes the corner strongly, black splits the bottom side, And now what? White chooses to play here. They're on their own. KataGo's on their own. No more human intervention. KataGo gets to choose what KataGo will play from now on. So it chooses to run out. This one makes a lot of sense because the black stones on both sides, they don't have base moves. So when white just runs out through the center here, white is basically preparing to pincer one side or the other. Black chooses, of course, to defend the bottom side because that stone getting punished here when black saves is more important than the right side. And white ignores the right side. White goes and takes a base in the bottom left. AI often does this kind of thing. It seems to have one plan, and then it switches. It does another thing, and then it switches again. It does another thing. It does another thing again. It can make it really difficult to figure out what it's doing, like what the actual plan is. And this heavy switching, like really fast gameplay, it's really good at beating humans. Humans will tend to get invested in the storylines that we understood. So if you say, I'm attacking either side, and then you give up, humans will say, okay, I accept. Let me save these 3 stones. I'll run. I'll build the whole area on the right side. It looks like that should be really imposing. Imagine we can just, whoop, all ours. You missed your chance. Well, KataGo never actually misses its chance. So black does not actually build right away. First, black attaches. And attaches here. So the reason why KataGo is doing this stuff is to try to get more influence, to try to make it solid on the right side. So KataGo is actually affecting the same kind of plan, which the human player would do. But it does it a stranger way. It does it messing around with all this stuff. I could get into the weeds of the precise details, why it chose to attach here, and then extend here, and then use this exchange. Every single move is precise. There's a good reason why each move, if you did it a little bit differently, it would be a little bit worse. I think all those moves are correct, but we're going to have to cover details of 200 moves here, so let's settle in. We don't have to go dive into the... Effectively, that was just a forcing move sequence, where white made sure that they were alive, and black made sure they got the thickness. This turn, this is the interesting move. So at this moment, I was definitely expecting, watching this game, that black would run out here. That seems to finish this area. It seems to be clear. But the area is not actually finished. White can definitely walk in, and an AI would do so. And the other AI is scared of the other AI doing so. So black thinks if I play like this, well, then it's not mine. My opponent will break it. And when my opponent breaks it, I'll have to attack and get something back. It's not going to be easy. So black doesn't invest into that right away, but instead plays here. Because this one, if white would answer, is beneficial to black because white is already super strong on the top side. So white's answer is not gaining strength. It would only be gaining the territory on the top. Meanwhile, black's move here is fixing the co-cut. It's making black a lot thicker here. So certainly white shouldn't be able to answer this one stone, which means that white needs to come in right away. And then black gets some territory benefit back on the top. So the way that AIs handle moyos is actually quite different from the way humans handle moyos, because the AIs trust each other to not mess up the defense. ever. So they will never challenge that, oh, I just finished the area and you can't do anything, even though you can do something. Humans challenge that all the time. Humans are like, we both know you should be able to do something in there, but we both know you don't know how to do it. Humans will say that all the time to each other. That's what we do. That's how we get more territory a lot of the time. AIs don't do that because they trust the other AI will actually be able to get more than they're supposed to with the invasions, not just up to par, but often the invader is gaining in these kinds of circumstances. So black actually feels very uncomfortable to handle this kind of stone and is going to treat it defensively. So push from below, make sure that the black group is thick. So the way that AI always gains in these situations, the way that humans can't match it, is AI will use every little resource against black that's possible, with the idea that white could save anything here, and white could attack anything here. And basically any trade, if black captures white and white captures black somewhere else, it's going to be good for white, as long as it happens in black's area. Because both sides, after a trade, where both people capture stones, both sides become strong. Black was already strong, so black doesn't change the position very much. White's position changes a lot. You become strong where you were weak. So every single black weakness is white's target, is white's opportunity, and white's resource here. So white aims at it originally with this move, and then flies high like this. Yeah, this was actually around my feeling as well. I think when I was looking through the game, I wanted N11, something like that. But somewhere around here, this is my feeling, with the idea, if black answers on the right side, that's underselling the thickness he has on the top side here. So if you only take the territory straight over here, then these stones end up meaningless, right? So black is sort of getting baited by a move over here. You should come through. This is the correct way for black to handle. Black, instead of just asking for the small box, just asking for this, that would only be locally fair. And only getting something locally fair after you gave white some investment on this part and allowed white to tanuki over here as well, it wouldn't be enough. So instead, black has to ask for the big box. The problem is black will never get the big box. So white, this kind of move is really insidious. It forces black to go into that kind of gameplay, which, of course, for AIs, this is good strategy for white. And black cuts off the one stone. So this is the other purpose of that N12. It's why I wanted to play it so many times before. You have a cutting point against that N14 original move, which you can strike back against. And so that stone is now cut off, and black has quite a bit of potential. Even black could theoretically transform this from being a right side Moyo game to being a bottom side Moyo game. That is exactly, in fact, what black is planning on doing. White plays here. This move is the first move which I can't get behind. I don't believe it. I don't agree. How can that be the right move? White can do anything else. White can play here, some other random thing. If black plays locally on the bottom right corner, black can only connect, and that is gote. It's not gote. It's sente. White should answer, but that's bad. That one is not gote. This one is sente. White should answer. But that's a very bad use of the weakness here. Like, white's connect here is actually gaining so much. The fact that white captures is completely strong here. It means that white can fight vehemently on the outside. There's no reason to hold back whatsoever. The corner is completely alive. By doing it this way, white is also completely alive. But black gets the next move. So this sente move that black could play, which white forestalls, is not useful, is not a good move. It wouldn't be a good move anytime soon in any variation. So how is it possible that the reverse sente against a bad move for the opponent could be good? It is possible. It's theoretically possible. It would be possible if white is gaining momentum on the bottom side more than white could gain momentum anywhere else. Actually, that kind of thing can happen. It can happen where white is saying, I progressed my power on the bottom side, and now I will attack your 5 stones. I will not exactly attack, but I will use the 5 stones weakness in order to break the bottom side and overall control the game. I don't really believe it. I just... Can you really put a stone there? Basically, what white is saying is, you can put a stone anywhere you like, black, but you can't gain initiative. You can't do something awesome. So I'm just going to sit here, chill, and let you do whatever you want. And whatever you end up doing, I'll punish that. I'll punish that with the extra power I have against your bottom side. It's one thing to say that with like a established big move. I take a big thing, and then the opponent can play away, and I'll handle it. But to do it with a small move... crazy. I think maybe the stronger AIs that come out eventually will think that this move is not correct. Maybe. But my KataGo agrees. My KataGo still thinks that move is correct. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't really... I can't agree theoretically. But I can agree with the idea from now. Black kicks, white extends. That's normal. and black jumps here. This is great. Actually, when I was thinking about attacking, I was thinking, all right, let's go here. Let's go here. We got to punish white for their slow move. Let's go. But these things, they're not going to work very well. Just in general, this is what white is asking for. Why white can play away is white is saying this position over here. Anytime that you try to put a move which says I'm attacking you, white will put a move that says I'm defending. And in the in the fighting, whatever happens here, let's say it goes like this, for example. White puts a bunch of stones defending, black puts a bunch of stones attacking, right? And then you're comparing which stones are more useful. Well, the reason why white played away is that white was keeping themselves weak so that white stones would be more useful than black stones. Because white played away several times, white left this very weak, and since it's very weak, becoming strong is more valuable. So that's the idea. The reason why a move in the bottom right can be good in theory is that we're leaving the center to be more valuable for ourselves. We're like progressing the game so that the next moves that we play are going to be better rather than the first move that we play. It's such a weird idea. So black is not falling for that stuff at all. I think it would be fine as well to put at least a stone here and like press a little bit harder, but black doesn't do anything remotely strong against this white group. Black is not thinking I'm going to surround it, I'm going to kill it. No, it would never happen. So the pressure is very soft, and the meaning of the pressure, white is supposed to not get surrounded. Let's make sure that they run out. And then black is saying, hey, I get to take the whole bottom side. This is how you take advantage of the opponents who are pressing a little too hard on the edge of their life and death. You can't actually kill them at the AI level. They'll never press so hard that they literally die. So what you do is you say, okay, go ahead, white. You know what? I used to have an area here. It is gone. Bye-bye. I don't have that area. It's gone. But while you had to spend time taking it, I build another area, and that area is too efficient. I've built that one too big, but you don't have time to come in and invade. Because if you come in and invade, then I'll attack you and attack the other side. So it can become a mess between the different white groups. How will white handle this? Of course, casually, invade. Just come in. What's so wrong? Invade. What do you mean I'm going to get double attacked? I don't have to worry about that. I'll just save. This is too hard for me to do this kind of thing, but it works. It's a wonderful invasion, and black has to respond on this side. Yeah, most of the time in human games, people are going to be like, what do you mean invade? I dare you, do something. You can't do it. But in this case, I think even in human games, people wouldn't attack like that because the attach here is so clear. After that, oops, yeah. If black cuts that, then white will use this invasion stone very, very effectively. You can see white is just going to connect up to it. And then black has to go defend the corner, and then white is safe. White can just live on the bottom side. So, yeah, because of that, if black played from this side, it's possible, but white would be able to break in a little bit. Black would have to like fall back with his connection. And you can see white has like a million cuts, lots of Aji to use. So black just decided, let's fix it directly. I think this is a very reasonable way to handle attacking that invasion. Now, it definitely can't make a base on the bottom side. And if it escapes, then we're going to double attack again, right? So, seems good. Seems like everything's settled. Problem is there's still an issue of the cut on the bottom right there. And that's why white played this particular invasion. White was thinking like, okay, either I get to beat up the bottom left, or I'm going to get much more power towards the cut and towards direct saving methods. And when black played here, white was like, okay, I can use the cut later. But for now, if I use that, then I would just be solidifying the rest of the black area. So it's too early to do anything. That was a nice probe. If black had responded the other way from the center and given like white the cuts on the left side, white probably would have done stuff with that right away. But in this situation, white is gone. Plays away. Kicks. And black, of course, extends. And now white does something really interesting. White does not do the normal joseki that all of the Dan players do, that all of the professional players do. White does the one that all the Q players do. Kick Fencer. You guys are right, AI does it too. No, not actually. This is a special case. The kick fencer is actually not that bad. It's not highly punishable, but yeah, in this case, it's particularly good for white to do a kick pincer, because in this case, the top side is very valueless. The situation that happened over here means at any time black can Atari, and if white extends anytime, it's going to be small. So the thickness here is basically making it so the top side is so uninteresting that white is baiting black. Please go ahead and play on the top side. If I get to play on the left and you just have to take no territory over there, then I gain. That's the white plan in this case. So black does the normal thing that Q players are taught to do against this kick pincer. Actually, this is rare. At AI level play, at high professional, high dawn level play, players punish this more often with counter attack against these stones from the outside. But that didn't happen in this case. Instead, we had attach here, because in this case, the top side is not meaningful, once again, right? So if you would play this one, then when white just sort of forces black onto the top side, there's several ways to do it. Let's just do it the most basic, common way. You can see that black is going to end up putting some stones on the top side, and that's not going to be pretty, because it will never affect the top right. So that's why black played... This is crazy. I never thought I'd see this sequence in an AI game, right? This is like the easy thing we teach Q players to handle. What do you do when kick pincer? You're supposed to attach. White hanes, you extend. If white extends like this, then you cut. Actually, even this extend is surprising. Most of the time in high-level play, people are not playing the extend. People are playing push here. But in this case, it wouldn't be good, because, yeah, after push... Well, actually, I think black would block. Yeah. Black would block, and then you answer. You get the chance to play the jump. So usually white is very happy to get to jump and then control the top side. But again, whoops, no one cares about the top side. So we don't play then the empty triangle here, but this one, so that black is the one forced eventually by shape to play the top. And you'll notice this isn't exactly the joseki that we teach to the Q players. Q players, if you are watching this and you get kick pincered all the time, you should play like this, mostly. They kick pincer you. No, how dare they? They do it all the time on Fox, I know. Well, then you attach, you extend. Yeah, if they do that one, we block and we use their cutting point. They're supposed to fix it, and then we fix our cutting point. And if they do this one, then we cut. So the idea is you had to attach and extend first before you cut to make sure that your outside was still blocking them, surrounding them. And then the cut is a big thorn. They can capture that, but only one way. It's very difficult for them to capture it, so they can only capture it like this. And then the theory is that now you have to Atari first and then play here, so that you can squeeze those two stones from two sides, from the center and the top. And then after that, you're supposed to fix the cutting point. Okay, this is the normal way. But the AI did it all wrong. How dare it? It didn't follow joseki at all. Yeah. It doesn't stop. It doesn't use this Atari, because it's thinking it can get this Atari later, so it can save the co-threat. Most of the time, humans don't think like that, because most of the time, humans don't treat this joseki quite as flexibly as the AI does. The AI is now thinking, if white would play here and go try to beat me up, I'm not going to block. If you block, that's... oops, not like that. But... if you block in general, that's trouble. You can get cut. It's not good. So after this white move, black was just thinking, I'm gonna play away. Who cares? I'm out of here. Go ahead and split my shape. I don't gotta save those stones. I've just broken some stuff on the top side. You've gotten so thick in the upper left corner. You should not do this most of the time. But in this situation, white is so thick everywhere, black is so thick everywhere in the upper left, that actually winning fights over there and like staying strong, it's not meaningful. It's not going to change anything. And so that's why black in this special case is able to reserve the Atari, not use the Atari. And they even Atari'd here rather than to fix the cut, which, yeah, very quickly became an issue in the game. First, okay, white jumps over here. So after this Atari, black was a little bit stronger, and therefore, if black would start with something like Tengen, then this group could get under severe attack. So white chooses to try to defend it right away. They make some space. They're attacking the black shape in the upper right. Peep. This this became very interesting. The peeping timing here is really precise, because what black is trying to do is get white to connect. And if white would connect, after putting a stone here, it will be a little awkward for white to use this stone to make space on the top side. So like most of the time, what white wants to do is something like jump and then make a space here. But at this exact moment, if white does that, then white would be losing some control of the center movement. So just before any movement is decided, black tries to peep first and basically reduce the chance for white to make space over here, be efficient, and also make movement here. It's very precise timing, and white of course does not respond the way black wants white to. White goes down, and this is putting some threats again against the upper right black, and it's again looking to make a base on the side and be super flexible. So first black has to defend to stay stable, and then white pushes here rather than to just connect. It's not like AI knows precisely everything it's doing with this stuff, actually. When I ask AI about the game, it says, okay, this move is possible, this move is possible, this move is possible, this move is possible. There's, a whole array of lit up green moves. And that's how the AI beat each other, is they can't exactly precisely choose whether pushing here to establish an area on the right side, which white can use to save themselves, but which loses some control of running to the center, is better or worse than connecting, which loses some control of the area, but gets better control running to the center. You get these like very competing, entirely different game states that you could continue to play through, and the AI can't tell exactly which of these very slightly different game positions are better. So it pushes here, and then black plays the table shape. So if you would push through, then you're quickly gonna realize that the bottom right here is not as thick as you'd like it to be. So instead, just wait, just thicken, and white comes here. Okay, I think the reason why it did this is a probe for co-threats, actually, but I could be wrong. I think basically this is a probe which asks black a lot of different questions, and one of them is, how strongly are you trying to kill me here? And anytime humans are asked that question, hey, I'm dead here, how strongly are you trying to kill me? The human says, I'm trying to kill you 100%. Because if you say less than that, then you'll easily become traded against, and then basically things never go up from there. So you might as well ask for the most from the start, because things aren't going to get any better. So black KataGo answered the same way. It played here. It said, you are maximally dead. This kind of killing method, which is like peeping and particularly allowing the opponent like a split knight's move, normally you shouldn't do that sort of thing. It's very common to do it when you're trying to kill so hard that you don't care at all about shape. So if the opponent can like split through your shape, that's completely fine, because splitting through shape does not make eyes. And black is still so strong on the outside that there's no way white would ever make a cut against this black. So black doesn't need to play any kind of connected shape. He can just go as deep as possible and make the strongest attack. My KataGo disapproves of this move. My KataGo says, you were supposed to be patient. You were supposed to say, no, wait, it's fine. You're not maximally dead. I need to take care of myself over here. And yeah, I think this... Okay, much later in the game, this was important. And I think this was partially understood by the AI even now. But the level that you're gonna see, that it's just something unreal happens around this area later. I genuinely can't wait to show you. It's so incredible. You can remember right now, mysterious exchange. Maybe something in the future is gonna shed some light on why white decided to suddenly ask black to kill, and black killed. Normally this is considered slightly bad exchange for white. Okay, white comes back, white pushes here. This is part of the reason why I was saying this might be making co-threats. When black says, I kill you 100%, then anything white does to switch that back will be co-threats. So it has many more co-threats in this local position, and there's a chance to cut with a ko over here. So black has to answer that. And then white connects. So white, obviously planning to run, planning to save the group still. This game is obviously still within half a point. It's too early on in the game for them to have racked up enough mistakes to be, severely leading. Nobody got broken. Nothing very, very serious has happened yet. Black plays an attack. White defends by breaking the territory. You'll note the territory balance is so important to these players. They would never do something which allows black to get a little bit of extra territory just for a little extra safety. No. If you give away 1-2 points for safety, which doesn't actually matter, you gave away 1-2 points, you lose the game, right? So if the safety is not actually important enough that it's going to pay off points in its own right, it's not worth anything to the AI. So of course, the way that they're going to save themselves is maximum breaking the territory on the second line. Black uses this push and comes back here. Yeah, this is really interesting. Because earlier, black said, I'm going to 100% kill you. That means that now black can invest a move and say, I did it. I 100% killed you. It stops white from doing some of the nasty stuff that they could have done. If black had done, let's say they shoulder hit here or something. Sometimes in the future, white is going to cut here, and black pretty much would have to give that up, and there would still be some cutting points over here. If black wouldn't give that up, this is going to get really difficult for black. There's almost no way to say black is going to save these stones and also kill the bottom side. Even if black could push through, there's still going to be a lot of resources suddenly here appearing on the bottom side, and lots of stuff here. If black has to answer, then we're going to have to answer all of these. You can see black is just getting broken and white is running through everything. So black answered here. That saved the one stone that originally cut off that, and it killed the whole bottom side. So this is all very, very solid now. We can actually pretty much clearly define how the territories are going to look. It's over here, there's something for black, right? And over here, there's something for black. And maybe there will be something here, maybe. That's it. And for white has the territory here, territory here, territory here, right? Some territory here, some little bit here. So white is the one with lots of coins, and black is the one with the big treasure chest, right? Of course, because these players are both AI, the treasure chest and the coins equal each other. But actually, even humans could match up the sizes of those things pretty well, because we're pretty sure, efficiency-wise, black didn't get to do anything that was super extraordinary. Black never actually pressed, hey, I capture all this area in a way I'm not really supposed to, give it to me. Black only did this stuff, he only captured it as big as he was supposed to. And very similarly, white has only taken the corners and the sides and the small coins in the way that white was she was supposed to. So, the game is, of course, still just about even. And this is the part where the AI is going to really, really pick up. I mean, before now, it was, humans can do this stuff. We're fighting, I get this thing, you get that thing. Now it's going to be a more intense fight from now. White starts with this churn. And this churn, this is something I've really struggled to understand the timing for this kind of churn. It's hard for me to exchange it, because you lose endgame when you do that. You churn, and then you just play away. And what it means is that if you had played away, and let's say later on you get sente, normally when you do the sente, you would like to play here. You can play endgame in sente like this, and of course that's a lot more valuable. The opponents will often play here to stop you from getting this sente now, but it's much more valuable to get the sente endgame once the game is about points there than to get this one. This one, now you can see when white plays away, well, if white would ever come back here, white can't play this in sente anymore because black already has the connection. So that means this is gote. And white could instead be better served playing this gote, sequence. But that's not like wonderful. Anyway. So white's endgame is lost a little bit, but white did it now because there's another effect that this turn has. If black is the first one to play the endgame. So white was thinking, if instead of doing that, if I had just gone here, then maybe black would immediately play here. And then usually you're not going to get this kind of exchange anymore. Now if you try to get it, then black will play outside. So you really can't reduce this this weakness anymore. You can't easily approach that knight's move in the diagonal. So white tries to get it like right now, meaning now if black comes back, right? Black, still the best endgame is like this, but you can see the outside exchange, that turn exchange becomes good. So basically you turn if you think black is gonna be the one who plays the gote here, and you don't mind giving away the local value of if you're the one who gets to play. And since it's your sente most of the time, usually I really don't want to give up. Like usually it should be my right. I'm supposed to be the one who plays there first. My move is sente, their move is gote. So I'm supposed to play. I really don't like playing this kind of turn very early. But I think the AI, I think they played it probably at perfect timing here. I think that the Hane would be very valuable for black, and it's about to become very, very valuable for black in the fighting you'll see here. And it, of course, as it does, the turn is wonderful. Additionally, there's one more little tidbit about that turn, which convinced me. And from now on, I will be playing that turn much, much more commonly. You're going to see why later. It's, again, spoilers, but wow. It blew my socks off. Okay, so in the meantime, white has just jumped through the center. White is saving their group, and black attacks it here. It's quite interesting, actually, that after white saves the group, black attacks it now from this direction. I think part of the reason is that black themselves was getting under pressure on the top side and over here, and black was thinking, oh, I can keep this group under pressure with the wedge there. So this wedge is actually quite scary, and this move sort of peeps at that wedge, peeps at the cuts in this area, and of course it steals away some of the white space in the center, which is actual like territory. So it has some territory change, has a huge change for the cutting power. White plays this one to make sure that the wedge isn't going to be very serious, and approach that upper left weakness of black, which black of course doesn't respond to at all. Black plays so flexibly out here, just waiting for white to commit on something. If white tries to bite some black group, which white really isn't supposed to be able to kill right now, white can get in big trouble. So of course white will not try to kill something that they aren't supposed to be able to kill. They'll kill something that they can. So first they play the turn, they get ready. Black plays here. White, okay, this Hane was very cool timing. We'll inspect that in a moment. And then white blocks, black plays here, and now white says, now I'm ready. I can kill you. Most humans will not do this. This is very committal, very, very committal, especially when we have a huge weakness. Like we have a weak group over here, and we have all of these weaknesses in the center, which the opponent was literally like showing us that they're eyeing and eyeing and eyeing, and we just ignore and say, you know what, I can cut you. You have to take care of your upper left, so that means you have to save it this way, which means I can capture the one stone. So much territory. Wait, it's like, look at all my points. It's amazing. Black is like, hello, you have some weaknesses here. I can save myself, and you've got to protect yourself. And white's like, nah, bro. Nah. At this stage of the game, again, there's so many different moves are green and were possible here. Like for example, instead of this one, it was possible for black to play. Yeah, instead of that, black could have played the cut here. And then if white would cut like this, that would be good. This would have established a stronger cut for black. But white wouldn't have done that. White would have played from this side. And then it would be entirely different. I mean, like, the fighting shapes are just... It's the same theme. So in the game too, we're going to see black make a cut. So first exchange that and then cut here. So it's the same theme. White is talking about when I get cut here, and black is talking about when you get cut here. What exactly is going to be the fighting that happens after that? And all the variations that they see, white is going to resolve that fighting. White is going to be able to save it. White's going to get some points. Black's going to get some points, and eventually it's about equal. But some variations are more equal than others, and you really can't tell. Like I tried to analyze quite deeply. I was pretty passionate when I looked at this game myself that this should be the right move, and then I had a conclusion as well. I remember I did like, I don't know, 20 minutes sifting through the variations, and eventually I decided, you know what? I'm right. This move is very minimally better than the other one that the AI chose, and it had something to do with the left side. Problem is, I forgot. I forgot all this stuff that I was looking at, and when I tried to get the same result again, I tried to do the same research, and I didn't get the same result. I was checking through KataGo, trying to put in the same variations I had been looking at before, but like something was wrong, and then it was showing that this one is better. Maybe I like updated my KataGo in between or something like that. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say, actually, the AIs, they're playing the game. They are players, just like you and me. When we play the game, we're like, maybe I should play there, or maybe I should play there, or maybe I should play there. I can't tell which one is better. The AIs are doing the same thing. They're saying, maybe I should play there, and they look around the whole board, and they read the variations, and they get numbers instead of like feelings. But they're doing the same thing of, I don't know which one of these is better. And then just pick. They don't know, they just pick. The numbers tell them which one is better rather than feeling, but it's still just Go. It's the same game. Ridiculously higher level, but same game. And so AI picked this one. And that meant that the other AI decided I have to play on the left side. The reason why it's doing that, by the way, is that the left side is actually really quite critical here. And this is the reason why, as well, white exchanged this before doing this stuff. If white had omitted that exchange, then black would have rushed to play here. It was a crazy Tetsuji, which if white answers passively, black can steal away all of the territory here. Obviously, it's really huge on endgame, but it's also huge on the white base. So this whole white group can get very, very weak because it's now lacking 2 eyes, as it doesn't have the territory there anymore. So if white had done this one instead, then black could cut like this, and then extend, and white can't cut, because, of course, there's no way to block, and then these 4 stones are just going to end up dead. So, yeah, that Tetsuji was coming, and that's why, before coming back, white chose to exchange this, and then come back here. Now you can see if the same Tetsuji happens, white can play this one, and it's Atari. And that means white will be able to fix everything. If white had omitted it, and then, without exchanging that Hane, just gone here directly, then, of course, black would just capture this stone. But because white had already exchanged this, white made it possible to be able to capture black. So that was the meaning of the precise timing of Hane here. AIs wouldn't just exchange Hane like that for no reason. Usually, if you exchange Hane block, the endgame becomes worse, because if black locally plays the endgame later, black will get to capture a stone. And although by territory just in itself, it's not better to capture rather than to solid connect, the continuing fighting that's going to happen on the left side is a lot better when black, first of all, has the eye, so it's a lot stronger against co-threats and that sort of thing, but also has the first line stone here, which is actually going to change a lot of first line, second line fighting sequences that happen in the end game. So this is a bad exchange, but it worked in this case. And then, white went for the cut, and then white is covering this as well, because white is still thinking if black comes in and captures, then there's still an annoying clamp, and there's still gonna be some serious problems. So by blocking here, white is not spending a move, like, directly defending, because these moves are going to be slow. You play here, you play here. These moves are just they're not very thrilling, right? So white skips the thrilling move, plays a clearly valuable move on the left side to fix a lot of those valuable weaknesses, and dares black, okay, you can go ahead and cut me. When you go ahead and cut me, yeah, I'm separated. I've got to save this group on the right side, but I can do that. I'm KataGo. I can save any group. So white extends back here. This is forcing, using, of course, always using the counter resources when we save ourselves. So save the one stone because this is threatening to attack the upper left group. Black has to answer. If black would like not do that, go attack this somehow, white would play, I think, Hane cut. This looks really good. Now if black tries to kill that, then uh-oh. Suddenly these two stones are dying. And if black plays back this way, then yeah, of course this group is now surrounded and white is making eyes in the meantime. So black has to answer that. Black connects back the group, doesn't do it in the most solid way, like this kind of thing, but does it this way because black is interested in keeping the white group of limited space and limited eyes. So, you know, gently walk towards those eyes. Not going to exactly leave this undefended, you know, full interest in the eyes, but walk towards the eyes as much as possible at least. And white turns here. Yeah, this is at this point the game gets like way too brave for me. I just cannot execute on this level. Turn means go ahead and attack me however you like. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna take care. And black's like, come on. These kinds of attacks, you can save it. And white's like, yeah, I just push through. You answer, and black is saying, hey, I can cut in the center. There's a diagonal move here. It's a critical move. If black plays that one, black can just cut, and then all the center would die. And so black is saying, okay, you either answer your cutting point here, and then let me save my other one stone on the right side, thereby giving you totally dead shape, or you go and kill the one stone, live, and then let me kill the center. It should be like game over, right? Of course not game over. How would the AIs fight to game over? Never. Okay, actually sometimes it happens. Sometimes the AIs will make a small misread or miss a Tetsuji, as we'll see later. In this case, it didn't happen. White had this move lined up. And honestly, I don't even understand what white is doing. I understand how it worked in the game, but there's another move which black could have played, which I think just refutes this move, as far as I can tell, but I don't really understand, because even though I show the lines to AI where it refutes it, and it's like, yeah, those lines are good, but I bring it back. Anyway, we'll discuss this. In the actual game, black blocked here, and then white connected like this. And the meaning of all this stuff was, okay, black, you can go back and save that stone, but I have this sente move and then this sente move. So actually it would not be meaningful. Even if black would save that one stone, then white uses all of these sente moves and uses the ajis that they have against the left side stones. White would be able to save. And so instead of black really trying to kill, black has already realized, okay, white is going to be able to save. And this move is saying, since you're about to save, at least let me defend getting the bottom side as big as possible, like keep those as safe, and try to reduce the left side as much as possible. Like black is still trying to win the game by territory, even though white is about to live the group. So my question is, why did black have to play here and then let white get all the sente, which makes so that the left side attack is weaker and that the whole group can save itself, when instead black could have resisted like this. Now obviously, when you resist like this, you leave behind more cutting points over here. So there's a huge amount of thinness in the shape to this part. But white can't like chase that thinness right away, because still there's the issue here and the dual issue on the right side. So this is a big fail for white. There's no way white could play like that. So I think what white is going to do is something more like devious, and use that deviousness. Somehow white is going to like combine a whole bunch of weaknesses together. But when I like read it and run through my reading with the AI, I can't find any variations that like work to establish how this stone actually creates a cut that delays black in a meaningful way with respect to the fighting over here. And it seems to me like after this move, black should be able to win the game. At least black is leading. When I say win the game, I mean follow the rest of the game with AI level play, never lose half points, and you take your 1.5 point lead or whatever it should be. I think maybe only half point lead, or I guess 1 point lead, since this is a even Komi game. I think black probably has a 1 point lead if they block there, but instead they blocked this side. And so this one is actually, it's really obvious how white is going to use the weaknesses, but black just wanted it to happen, because if white uses the weaknesses this way, black got to solidify the bottom. So black is still thinking here, oh, even though I don't kill this group, I can win by territory. Look, I have a huge treasure chest and white only has coins, right? One guy has a treasure chest, the other guy has coins. Surely his treasure chest wins, right? Surely. Well, anyway, white goes and lives over here, so it's obviously making a huge base. Should be pretty safe. In fact, it's so safe, white's like, screw it. I'm just gonna exchange another move over here, and Tanuki. I'm already alive. I don't need to spend one more move. I don't need to finish my base. If KataGo would finish the base here, then yeah, I would get some points for that. But it wouldn't be that many points. It wouldn't be as many points as the connect here. The connect here is so big. So big. For additional reasons, we'll see that... I can't help but keep spoiling. It's foreshadowing. Genuinely the most crazy Tetsuji I've ever seen in my Go career is going to happen. I'm so excited to show you. Alright, let's go see. In the meantime, white is leaving this group for the crows, it seems. Black says, okay, now I can save my one stone. Because if white would block now, black could clamp, and then can either cut or connect under. So white lost the area over here. It's not like white played away because he's like, I can still keep the area. No, he lost the area, and is forced to make the second eye in the center. And I say second eye because white can just barely crawl back an eye in Gote on the right side. If white, if black... doesn't the way that it works there, if white is the one who plays first, white can make the eye. If black plays first, white will not very easily be able to make the eye. Maybe sometimes, but probably not. That's my judgment as a commentator. Okay, so because white has an eye here and could make an eye over here, black is not going to continue to attack. The final eye, which black, if black tries to take this eye, white is going to be able to make another eye over here with the clamp and the tiger's mouth, probably. So at the moment, at least, that's working. So black is interested in that not working anymore. So black starts with the Atari here and is thinking like, okay, how exactly am I going to make this work? Eventually, he's patient. If black gets more thickness and makes it so that, okay, if basically what's going on, if black had attacked here, then white is going to use this one, and then hopefully this one is sente, and then you get this one. And when I say hopefully, I mean it's been read out in many different ways that it should be sente, and then that we can use this, and then white gets the final eye. These two are miai. That's the theory. That's what's going on here in theory. And black doesn't want to kill his own upper left group in that kind of sequence. So he's decided not to trigger anything. And white, she is gonna just wait. Does not want to resolve this. Gonna leave it as unresolved as possible and just press on endgame. So here we have this, and here. Yeah. And honestly, this part, really intense fighting. The eyes are just appearing out of nowhere everywhere. But it's about to step up. Step up another level. One more time. The next 4 moves, I literally cannot explain. This is the only part of the game, which even after so much study, I still just I don't understand at all what they were thinking. I can explain a facsimile of it. Okay. After the wedge. The wedge here is actually, this one's normal. Everybody at high level human play would play the wedge, asking for the double Atari, and then, trying to bully the opponent into answering. And the problem is that black did not answer. Black played here. Normally, everybody would play here. Even my KataGo at home would play here. And just say, okay, I get to block the whole bottom side territory. All of the black area is black area. That's clean. And white would only be able to connect, force black to connect. And it's a reduction, so the reason why white likes wedging is white wants to get all the way in, reduce. Looks good, but yeah, this would be too normal. KataGo needs to show it is KataGo. It is AI. It is not human. It plays here. This is extremely deep move. And the response is an extremely deep move. What an exchange here. What's going to happen, we're going to come back to this exchange. What's going to happen is going to show at least a small reason why this could have happened. And then, yeah, this exchange. That exchange, okay, the topside exchange, I'll almost be able to explain. This one, no chance. No chance. To me, my understanding is that this 149 move sucks. I think it's just an awful move. And Wei should have played Hane here. And I don't know why that didn't happen. If Wei had played Hane here, then black connecting is bad. Obviously bad. No human would really want to connect here because you just make it so that you're getting squeezed. Like you've suddenly added a huge liability to yourself for no particular reason. So Wei is going to connect, and then that's threatening to capture those, and you basically have to answer. And when Wei connected there, it fixed the threat that black had. After attaching, black was like thinking, I'm going to push through cut, make some problems. It's fixed in Sente, and then Wei is going to go and try to capture the topside area. Actually, we're going to see that happen in the game. So let's see. So black plays finally to answer the double Atari. Finally. Some random exchanges first, and then answer the double Atari. They're not actually random, but we'll see. And then Wei plays here. And this is the reason why the topside exchange was not random. The idea that Wei has is Wei is going to be attacking that upper left group. But attacking it for what? Because Wei can't kill it, so Wei needs to get profit. And where can you get profit? Well, the areas are all really decided, except for the topside. So Wei is going to try to capture the topside while forcing black to connect back. And black has one move here. If black would have connected normally, like this, then Wait could play this way. And you can see there's no way for black to cut. Even if black tries to cut here. Yeah? Part of the reason why black exchanged this before, this move, was because if White would have blocked like this, then there would be a way to cut. So after that, then when black answers the double Atari, and White goes for this, now black could connect. And now, it's different, because when White tries to connect and save the whole thing, when black Ataris like this, if White doesn't fight the ko, black can capture. So that's actually a really huge difference. It means if this one happens, then black can be pretty satisfied to allow White to try to fight this ko. This ko would be an even game. It would be very exciting. So White played this one to make it so that there would be no ko. To make it so that when White tries to capture the top side, and black just connects simply, then nothing happens. So instead of trying to connect simply, what black is doing by playing the connection here, rather than just the straight connection, black is saying, I connect in a way which kills your group. Remember, that group has still not lived, right? So your group needs to save itself. And White turns. It doesn't need to save itself yet. Yet. So first, White is going to keep attacking. And push, keep attacking, and churn again. So White is continuing to apply huge outside pressure to this black, saying, I'm going to find some cuts, I'm going to find some eyes, I'm going to find some ways to mess with you if you try to kill me. So black needs to connect, try to do it this way. So the idea is, if White responds, and black, if White allows black to be connected here, and black can go and kill this, then the whole thing can die. The problem is White has a Tetsuji. Tetsuji that, of course, White was reading the whole time when they were playing from the top side. The only reason why this stuff can work is because White knew that they were going to play wedge like this. And not only did White know it now, this whole sequence, all of this from here, from when black played here. Black played this because black knew that White would have this wedge. That's the only reason why it can make any sense to play that topside move. Otherwise, normally, under normal circumstances, if that wedge did not exist, this exchange is bad. You should not exchange knight's move, let them block, because that normally, under normal circumstances, that just should make them thicker, stronger. And the only reason why it wouldn't is if, for some reason, the liberty issues of white take more concern over their control and their ability to make your second line stone a bad exchange, which happens in only this one sequence where white is trying to beat us up in the center, which could only possibly work if we know, after white tries to beat us up all the way through here, that they have this amazing Tetsuji. What is even the meaning? Well, in the game, KataGo is forced to fall back and Atari from this side, and yeah, white exchanged some moves over here. Those moves were always white's right. That was always going to happen. And white could connect in Sente, and then Atari. And then finally you can see there's a half eye over here. White can take an eye in Gote. There's a full eye here. White already has the eye. And there's a half eye over here. White can take the eye in Gote. So you have one eye and two half eyes. White has two eyes. White lived. Why did black have to give that? Why couldn't black fight? I mean, it seems much more natural to play here. And then, if white extends, then we kill it. Great. Yeah, GG. Nice game. Well played. Let's play again. Of course, white wouldn't do that. No. No, white plays, there are several different orders, but white is going to use this one. And if black tries to kill it, then white is going to play here and here. And it's a ko. So if black connects, we have the ko. And this ko is working for white because there's always going to be one ko threat here. So that one ko threat is enough. It means black basically has 0 ko threats that are big enough. So yeah, white is gonna just win the ko, and it's gonna be amazing. White also has some ko threats over here. In this case, if by the way, my understanding of the left side exchange, I still don't think it's right. I think something went wrong here. But my understanding is that white played here because white thought, if I play here and then black does this one, then maybe I won't have enough ko threats for that ko in the future. I think white couldn't quite read it out all the way to there. In actual practice, white should have enough ko threats, according to my analysis with my own KataGo at home. So I think it was just a mistake. I think this exchange was probably just bad. But what they were probably talking about was how many ko threats are we going to have in the situation where we go all the way through, we get the wedge, we get the ko after the wedge, and we're trying to find ko threats. Well, it depends on how much white can attack those 3 stones to save the whole dragon. All of the, those would be ko threats since black is fighting the ko to try to kill, right? Anyway, that's my best understanding of those 2 exchanges, is that first of all, black played the topside exchange to reduce white by threatening to make the sequence here not work anymore, and then the left side exchange to try to ask for ko threats to make the sequence here not work as well. And yeah, then we had this sequence and a brilliant wedge, which of course both of them had seen 20 moves ago. And then finally, that managed to save the white dragon. And since white had to save it in Gote by playing the Atari, now white has 2 eyes, black could come back to capture. So finally you could say white's attack on the upper left is kind of unsuccessful, because black managed to stay connected to the top side. But how unsuccessful was it really? If you actually look at it, white managed to get a bunch of potential points over here. Either the descend or the 2 stones will be white's in the future. And white got quite a bit of potential territory still on the top side. There's still going to be an Atari there. And white got Sente. So white could spend that Sente here, and this was a massive endgame. This is clearly the biggest endgame. If black had been the first one to play, black would jump, and it would have been so annoying. It would have been way better. So black exchanges that. Okay, first we're going to exchange a couple moves on the top side, and then answer that. It's just AIs, they know that those ones are Sente. So functionally, whatever order that you put the stones down, it would be equivalent. So they won't do it the human way, where you just do one idea at a time. They'll do it randomly within all the equivalent ways. They'll just pick one at random and have fun. Anyway, white plays the reverse Sente, and this was so big to take the block against black's jump through there. So white is currently leading this game. If anybody is going to win, it should be white. But white isn't leading by a full point, of course. And it's probably even closer to a draw than a 1-point win. So it's going to be decided by the endgame. And of course, I spoiled for you before, the endgame is magic. Actually, the endgame is magic starting right now. Right now. The most beautiful sequence I've seen in my Go career starts now. Maybe, maybe not the most beautiful. You gotta respect Lee Sedol's move 78, sequence, but this is extremely pretty. Feel free to pause the video and just try to figure out where it would be. Where could it be that a beautiful thing happens? Yeah, the next move was shocking. White played here. And some of you are probably thinking, shocking? What do you mean? Come on, it's not so shocking. Like, a lot of people, specifically like around Lodon or very strong cube players, they tend to make cuts like this in the endgame, like all the time, willy-nilly. Just cut, go down, yeah, that was a Sente move. Just cut, go down, bang. This is not good under most circumstances. In fact, it's very bad. If you cut here and like all you're gonna do eventually is you're just gonna reduce. You can't do anything more, so we just get the Sente here. This is awful if it goes like this. It's actually so awful it would lose the game on the spot at AI level. Because instead of that, white could also have just done it this way and gone here and gone here. And in comparison here, white reduced one more point, didn't throw in a stone to black's territory, and didn't give black the additional territory over here. So that's at least 3 points, and probably more, that white has sacrificed by playing this one. Just on the spot, minus 3 points. And the whole game has been fought within 1 point difference, the whole time. It's been going up and down, but 3 points on one move is not acceptable. And indeed, like my KataGo, when it sees this move, it says -2. It's like, maybe you can do something here, but I don't believe it. Okay. Yeah, you still can't find something after this one unless you're a super genius. You might think, oh, there's something on the bottom side. Yeah, I remember. We were going to use this weakness. Not directly. You can't do anything directly. Already white exchanged this, but even if white hadn't exchanged that, there wouldn't be enough space for white to live anyway, with all of the Sente that they could get on the bottom. It is not against the bottom side. It is against the bottom left corner. I had no idea that this existed. This is something awesome. White plays here. What? What even? Random first line move, go. But it's not random. It's beautiful. It's incredible. It's one of the greatest TCG I've ever seen, for sure. Maybe the greatest TCG. I mean, Lee Sedol's move 78 didn't work. Surely this is the greatest TCG. White is winning. Black can't do anything. It's over. GG. Yeah. What? It seems like this should be stoppable in many different ways. In the game, KataGo tries the most obvious way, which is to block. We're gonna see how that doesn't work, but first, to show you, I mean, this should not work. Basically, any way which white blocks the outside here. So, for example, you could play this one, and if white connects, and then you play this one, then now white has to kill you, but they can't. So then you kill them, so it doesn't work. I was kidding. It doesn't work at all. KataGo messed up. No, of course not. No, after this one, you can't go back. And if you go here, it doesn't work because you have about 7 liberties as black right now, and white is 3, so that's not acceptable. So white has to play here, but then black can Atari and capture it. Seems like nothing. White plays here, and then when black captures, white plays here. And black can't save the 2 stones. What? If black connects, white plays here. White has 3 liberties, black has 2. GG. White has 3 liberties, black has 2. Black can only fill the liberty directly, not save the 2 stones. White plays here. Black wants to save them so bad, but then he'd get a target. Has to come back. White could capture the 2 stones. Actually, White wouldn't even do that. White would just say, bye, I'm out of here. And instead of playing the normal Hane connect Sente you answer, it's basically like Hane connect Sente, and also you didn't answer. And also I got to capture your 2 stones in the end. Obviously, it's worth the points that we give up over here to get a free additional 6-point move or whatever this is. What if you play as White, you get 3 points. If you play as Black, you get it's a 6-point move. Or maybe if you play as White, you get 4 points. Yeah, you force an extra Black. So it actually is a 7-point move. An extra 7-point move for free. Obviously, White is winning. So it's not exactly free, but so worth it. White would be winning by a bunch. Yeah. So after this, you go like this. You sacrifice the 3 stones and do an under the stones where they can't connect. I've never seen something like that before. Never. But that's not the only thing. Okay, we've figured out that this doesn't work, but that doesn't mean that this one doesn't work. And literally anyway, if Black could just manage to capture this inside thing and make it not end on the spot, of course it would just be good, right? Black doesn't need to ask for everything here. He just needs to make sure he's fine. But White plays here, and Black is not fine. If White would do this one, then Black would win the capture race. No big deal. You can go chase him, run it down. Atari is great. But White isn't going to do that. White is going to go in. And why is White going to go in? Is because if Black plays here, White is going to make a ko. And if Black doesn't do that, then now when White connects, then the capture race is not going to be won by Black anymore. What exactly happens in the ko from here? Well, if Black plays on the outside, White can't save it. White is going to die, but White can do this one in Sente. And then White steals away all the corner in Sente. It's ridiculous. So of course that wouldn't happen. Instead, we'd have Black play here, and then White would play this one, and then we fight a ko, which is a 1-step ko, but it's a 1-step ko for the whole corner, which was not supposed to be weak in the first place. It's insane. It's insane that you can do this. Sudden 1-step ko in the corner. What? So of course, we're not going to play here. Yeah, so finally we can check the AI's method. It plays here. This is the strongest resistance. This is the one, in fact, which I couldn't solve. I mean, I couldn't solve the other two, but this is the one which made me originally go to check AI when I was looking through my game. I was like, what? How can it do? It's Hane here. I was only looking at this one. I missed it, actually. I looked at this one. I was thinking, all right, we just race it, and then you lose the capture race. But by Haneing here first, and then cutting, and then playing the 2-2, what it does is it makes it possible to play here. And this one shorts the Black liberties so they can't Atari you. They can Atari you from the bottom side, but that would be a ko. So, of course, they're not going to do that. They're going to go capture the 3 stones. That's the better way. Every human, by the way, would choose the second line one, but they're both functionally equivalent, so Black chooses the first line one for fun. And then Atari here. And Black can't connect because there's ko. And once again, we get a ko to kill the whole corner. It's way too big. So Black comes back. White captures. Black plays a ko threat first. I think someone's sad. White plays a ko threat. And eventually, Black gives up and comes back. He has to capture. He can't lose the group in the ko. He has to capture here. And then White is so mean. Tanuki. So White reduced it in Sente, forced Black to spend all these moves on the inside of his territory in Sente, and still has a ko to capture the corner, to come back and take the corner, and doesn't even play it. Plays a way to play the outside endgame correctly, because actually I counted this ko. I think it's about 3 points per move in the ko, and of course blocking this part is bigger than that. White is winning. White is only winning by about 2 points, but White is winning. It gained 2 points, guys, and it's not like how can I say? Most of the time, if you gain 2 points, the opponent did something that was 2 points bad. It's not the case here. When I check my AI, it refuses to acknowledge this position is 2 points worse than it is, because it refuses to acknowledge that this could possibly be good, and that this could possibly be good until it sees this move. And it's like, oh, it just doesn't, like, what is this move? How can you? I'm going to remember this. So I told you guys earlier, we're setting it up, right? Actually, the stone here is not even necessary, not even really necessary, but it does help a little bit if black would resist in some, obscure ways. The real ways that it's going to happen, it all comes from you churn, they answer, and then you play the Hane Connect. Then you get to play Hane Descend. They go here. You get to play this one. You don't even need anything on the bottom side. Just those 3 liberties are enough to break the corner. What even? The corner is broken. How can you expect the L shape? Okay, the L shape is dead, but it's this weak that 3 liberties and then a first line move can break the corner. It's just broken. I've never seen it. I've never seen it, and part of the reason why I love it so much, why I think it's so beautiful, is because this stuff happens all the time in real games. Like, I 100% guarantee, in my game, my opponents and I have both missed this Tsuji several times. Like, this has happened in my game several times, and nobody has ever played this, or even thought of anything remotely similar to this. This is AI magic. This is why I love that we have AIs in Go. Because we get to see stuff like this. We don't have to ask the super top pros to think for 2 hours to find the best Tetsujis that we've ever seen and then be like, wow. We can just find them whenever we want. We can just ask AI to play each other. And we get to see super Tetsujis whenever we want. Incredible. And even you can see super Tetsujis in your own game by reviewing with KataGo. Incredible. Yeah, obviously AI is a somewhat contentious subject, and I guess somewhat political these days, in terms of its use in ChatGPT and all these. Basically, the AIs that suck. I think the AIs that are actually good at their job are not contentious at all, like so the medical ones and that sort of thing. But the AIs that suck are very contentious, of course. Creative AIs. Here, by the way, this one, no human would ever play that in that endgame in the corner. Everybody would play this way, right? Every single human. And this one turns out to be almost the same. It's like a third of a point worse, because now instead of descending at T2, which is third of a point better, you played S3. So KataGo as black has basically given up and is trying to do weird stuff just to throw weight off his pace, and is losing fractions of a point here and there. I think it's a clear minus 1/3. Yeah, my AI complained, by the way, about white playing this one, so I did my actual human endgame counting, and I realized that this one and the Ko, they have, I believe, just about the exact same expected value difference. So I think my AI, it doesn't like the fact that we're leaving the Ko, because it expects white to lose this Ko. It expects white to have less Ko threats. And indeed, that's basically what happens here. So eventually, white has no choice but to just, black uses a whole bunch of Ko threats. Black still has more Ko threats in the bottom right, but white is basically out at this moment. So white just uses a Gote as his Ko threat. And that means that black can connect. This is, of course, the biggest move, but then black would win, or black would lose by 2 points. So black doesn't do that. Black throws a tantrum and throws in a whole bunch of stones as well, and then eventually is gonna lose the Ko as well. So black is losing by more, but really black lost this game by 2 points and then threw a tantrum. That's all that happened. Sometimes the AIs do that at the end of the game, and they know their winning percent is 0. They just don't play the game anymore. But anyway, it really doesn't matter. Everything after this move was ceremony. Unbelievable super TCG. This is superhuman art, and this is what I think when it comes to other AIs, other disciplines. What people don't understand is that this stuff will happen in those other disciplines. I know it seems silly because AI is so obviously way better at Go than it is at basically that, at video, at photo, at text, at even the medicines, even protein folding, and all these other applications it's being used for. Even coding, which is pretty good at. AI is way better at Go than it is at coding. um, in those other disciplines, it will get as good as this. I promise. The AIs used to be in Go. They used to be bad too. Actually, in Go, their trajectory, their learning trajectory, was easier to scale up than in those more creative or other multi-dimensional disciplines. In Go, it helps a lot that the dimensionality of the problem is very small. But the problems that the AIs are having in these other fields, with more compute power and ideas and revolutions in the way AI works, it will 100% get to the same level of proficiency, speaking these the languages of text and of video and all those other things that it does, to the same proficiency it speaks the language of Go. I 100% believe that. And we don't actually care that much. I was very happy to watch this AI game, but I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to watch AI games as my hobby. No one really cares. It still is wonderful art to have available. And that's just the way that everybody treats it. Everybody knows, okay, yeah, the perfect art is out there. Anybody could have done the same thing that I just did and reviewed an AI game, but nobody does it. Nobody goes and reviews AI games, or almost nobody. There's a few happy crackpots like me who enjoy this kind of thing. But people like human AI, people like human art more than AI art, even though we know this is beautiful. Even though we can all agree the tetsujis it shows us, the strategies it shows us, are wonderful. I don't know whether there's a particular conclusion to draw from that. I guess you can draw from it what you will. But certainly the way that Go works is not so different from language, is not so different from all these other things. Go in itself is a language, in my opinion. And if you expect AI to behave differently in other disciplines than it does in Go, you're not using the fact that you're a good enough Go enthusiast to come all this way with me. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you appreciate it. All the effort I did to understand this game, understand what the AIs are doing, I think I mostly got it. Mostly. It took me a long time. It took me a lot of research, but I think there's a few mysteries, there's a few things I will never be able to play these exchanges that happened over here, nor will I ever be able to play the capture that happened on the bottom side here. That's just completely foreign to me. I'll never put a move like this down in my real game, I think. I don't think it's possible for me to get good enough to understand this. But maybe, if you understand why this move is playable right now, you can tell me in the comments. I'd love it. Anything that I missed about this game, please feel free to fill me in. I'm sure I missed so many things, but at least the broad strokes, I hope you guys followed along with me and enjoyed. Superhuman art, it exists. How wondrous it is to say such a thing. Superhuman art exists. Here it is. Wow. I'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed.